Good afternoon, learners. Welcome to our ICTIze program, which helps us to prepare for our examinations. Today, I am your presenter. My name is Busiswa Padi. I'm one of the subject advisors of mathematical literacy from FS-IBP. My learners, today we are going to concentrate on LO2 and LO3. Specifically on LO2, we are going to do the graphs on the break-even point. And on LO3, we are going to do the calculation on the area, the volume, and the perimeter. The questions that we are going to use for today, it is from the previous question papers, the November 2012 question 5 paper 1 and November 2011 question 6 paper 1. Why are we concentrating on paper 1? It is because it is where we collect our marks. Most of the marks, we collect them in paper 1. But I have chosen to do with you LO2 and LO3 because some of the learners, they struggle on paper 2, on paper 1, on the graphs. They don't know how to plot the graph. They struggle on plotting the graph, especially the one of break-even point. And also they struggle on substituting in the formula when they have to calculate the area, the volume, and the perimeter. Before we can continue with our lesson, my learners, I just want to give you some tips on our paper that will be written on Friday. My learners, please, when you get the question paper, the first thing that you have to do is to look at the paper. Is this the correct paper that I'm supposed to write today? Why am I saying that? Remember, in your exam rooms, you have a mathematics learners. We have also the mathematical literacy learners. So the invigilators, they don't know you. So a mistake can happen. They can give you a mathematics question paper. So be alert when you write your examination. Make sure that the paper that you have on your hand, it is a mathematical literacy paper 1, if it is paper 1 on Friday, then paper 2 if you are writing paper 2. Another tip that I have, it is based on our instructions. Our question papers have some instructions. Please be on time in your exam rooms, because you have to read the instructions. Remember, a mathematical literacy learner is an interpreter. You interpret the statement in a correct manner. For an example, here is the instruction from our previous paper. Look at the paper from our previous paper of 2011 November. There are instructions there. The first instructions, okay, I'll pick only 2 to 3 instructions. I will talk about 2 to 3 instructions. Let us pick the second one. Why am I picking that one? It is because today we are going to work on the annexures. Look at that instruction. It says, answer question 4.17, question 6.3.3, question 6.4.1 on the attached annexures. Write your center number and examination number in the space on the annexures. In other words, the question paper of 2012 November, it had an annexure. So the learners of 2012, they were supposed to be alert on that. So we don't know for you on Friday. Maybe the annexures are there for you. So you have to tear them out of the question paper. Why? Because you tend to forget them. And when you are out of the examination with the question paper, with the annexure inside, you won't be able to come back and hand in your annexure. So when you tear off your annexure, please remember what? To write what? The examination number. In the space, there will be a space provided on the annexures. And hand in the annexure with your answer book. So if you don't tear it out of the question paper, you are going to forget it. But if you tear it out of the question paper, don't forget, you must write the examination number and the center number. Let us pick the other one. This one on number 7. It's very much important, the rounding off. Look at that instruction. Round off all the final answers to 2 decimal places. You remember your teachers taught you about the high 5 and the low 5. You will hear when we start doing our activities. But this statement continues. It says, round off all the final answers to 2 decimal places unless stated otherwise. If it is stated that round off to 1 decimal place, then you leave out the instruction, you continue with 1 decimal place. The last one, please, our learners, write neatly and legibly. Remember, cleanliness is next to godliness. So I wish you all the best. Now let us start with our activities. Today we are concentrating on this paper, paper 1 of November 2012. Remember, I said we are going to do question 6. This question 6 is all about LO2, both LO2 and LO3. Let us look at LO2 first. Here is the question. It's from a previous question paper. We are going to work together with you. This is LO2. Remember, I said most of our learners, they struggle to plot a graph. But with mathematical literacy, you cannot struggle while we are here with your teachers. First thing, you have to read the statement. Read it with understanding. Interpret it correctly. Most of the time in our papers, we are given what? The formulas. Formulas are given in mathematical literacy. You don't have to cram them. Again, sometimes the table is there for you, but look at this table. There is this value, which is Q, is not there, and the value of P, it is not there. So this value of Q and value of P, you will be able to find it when you use what? The given formulas. Now let us read the statement. The Golden Girls Hockey Club qualified to play in the Wilken Cup final in an attempt to encourage her team to score as many goals as possible. The owner of the club developed the following bonus options as an incentive. You know everyone likes a bonus. So this owner, she developed the following bonus option as an incentive to whom? To his soccer team. Let us look at option A. Option A, each player will receive a basic bonus. In other words, if you are a player, you will receive a bonus of 4,600 per game. For each and every game that they are playing, they will receive, it's a bonus. Plus what? Plus an extra 250 for each goal scored by the team. 4,600 is there for all of them. But if they can score a goal, they will get an extra of 250. That is a statement. Now we have to interpret this statement to what? To numbers. Look, how do we interpret? Each player will receive a bonus of 4,600. There it is. There is that word that says plus. There it plus. There it is plus. You are interpreting. Remember, I said a mathematical literacy learner is an interpreter. You always interpret. Then plus what? An extra 250. What is this 250 for? It is for number of goals scored. That is your equation. That is your formula. In other words, this formula, we are going to use it to calculate the values of ranks in option A. Only for option A. Let us go to option B. Each player will receive basic payment. Wow. Also in option B, there is a basic payment of how much? 4,000. Look at the formula. There it is 4,000. Plus, there it is plus an extra of 400 for each goal scored by the team. So for each goal, they will get 400 rands, an extra. In other words, if we have 2 goals, it won't be 400. It will what? It will be what? 800. Now this is the table. Now my learners, let us look at the questions. We have read the scenario, we've heard everything, and now we are sure that we know the equation. The equation is given to us, and then we have the equation of option A and option B. Now we have the table. If you have a table, please don't go out of the exam room without drawing the graph. If the table is there, please draw the graph, because it is where you collect your marks. Table 2 below shows the total bonus that each team member could receive based on the number of goals scored. Now let us look at the table. We have number of goals. We have 0. Whoa. If they didn't score, for option A, how much do they get? Remember the basic bonus, it is 4,600. From where? Do you still remember our statement? Basic bonus of 4,600. Even if they did not score. For option B, if they did not score, because it is 0, 0 means they did nothing. It was 0. So in other words, they will get their bonus. There it is, basic payment of 4,000 per game. They receive it, so it's 4,000. But when we go to 2 goals, now in option A, there comes P. In other words, my learners, we have to calculate the value of P using what? The formula. If it is asked. But for option B, it is given for us. Let us go to 4. Do you see 4? If we have 4 goals, for option A is 5,600. For option B is 5,600. Please be careful of this. This says something. If 2 graphs intersect at the same point, what do we call that point? You will hear when we continue, when we plot our graph. And so on, you can see the next one, we don't know. Now, with this one, we don't know the number of goals. Does it say the number of goals for only option A? No. Does it say for B? No. but for both A and B. In other words, the value of Q, it must be the same if we substitute it, if we calculate it using the formula of option A and the formula for option B. Then you'll continue seeing 7 goals and 8 goals. Now let us attempt the questions. The first question, as I've said, immediately when I see the table and there's a value, the unknown value, that is P, unknown, it's something that you don't know, and also Q, then what came into my mind? I know there will be a question on calculating the value of P and the value of Q. Now I want us to work on the value of P and the value of Q. We must calculate the value of P and the value of Q. Let us calculate the value of P. Look at the value of P. Value of P, it is on what? On which row? The row of option A. Now the row of option A, what does the formula say? It says option A, it says 4,600. Okay, let us write it down together. Option A, it says 4,000. We have the basic of 4,600. Plus, do you still remember? Plus, we have what? Plus 250. Now we are writing the formula of option A. Option A is equals to, remember, the basic of 4,600 plus 250 times what? Number of goals. Number of goals scored. Okay. Times the number of goals. Now let us substitute. I think you can see that is our formula. Now let us substitute. We have the formula. We want the value of P. This is the value of P. Now the number of goals there it's 2. The number of goals scored is 2. Remember, when you write it down, we want the value of P. So we have option A, which is equals to 4,600 plus. Now I am going to introduce a bracket. Why am I introducing the bracket? Because this 250 must be multiplied by number of goals scored. Do you still remember the number of goals scored?